Yes, a fact of life that the working population is living longer thanks to improvements in diet, healthcare plans, despite the rise in obesity. So retirement ages, when the UK introduced its old age pension system, people were expected to live for 4 years after they retired. Now, if you get to the age of 66 to qualify for your state pension, you are expected to live for another 22 years. It's a big shift. Could we ever get to the point where you worked for 50 years and lived for another 50 years in retirement? Probably not. Retirement planning will involve a much longer time frame of drawing down on your savings than you might have thought 20 or 30 years ago if you then were starting to save for your future retirement.
There are very few of us who can afford to retire for that length of time, number one. Number two, even if you could afford to it, there are very few people who want to actually retire in the sense of do nothing. So I think it's more a case of we'll have multiple careers rather than we'll have an extended retirement. Yes, I think that's absolutely right. I think we are whole life learning, whole life contributing, and if we're lucky enough to be healthy to do that, fantastic.
Experience is valuable, not just in financial markets, but in various fields in the professional workplace. And past a certain age, it may be more difficult to practice such a profession full time, but it should be feasible to mentor and to pass on that knowledge to people coming up the ranks, and that's a very valuable way, I think, of using experience in a practical way.
And I think it's the role of the employer to say you shouldn't just be parachuted out of the business because you've hit a particular age. If you've still got value to the business should want to keep you.
We're starting to see that here in Switzerland, for example. They recently voted that men and women will retire at the same time at the age of 65. That will soon be moving out. People are living healthier and they still need things to do. And I think if you really enjoy what you're doing, why would you retire? So retirement was for when you worked till 40, retired, and after 65 you had 5 years basically of a good quality life. And now we're moving it out so much further. Why would you retire? I don't see myself retiring at 65. Do you?
From a more practical perspective, a very long retirement period would be very expensive for countries and for individuals as well. We know that people are living longer, that there are pressures on public finances, and there are pressures on people's own financial positions as well. The scale of retirement on that scale is frightening. I'd much rather see working periods extended into retirement periods, perhaps people working part-time as they get older.